X versus 7. I'm just messing with you. X was written, directed, and edited by Ty West and stars Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, Jenna Ortega, Kid Cudi, a plethora of really great actors, and essentially tells the story of a bunch of youngsters who have gone to a place in Texas in the 70s to film their own porn movie. And that's all I'm going to tell you about the movie, because it's best that you go into this thing as blind as possible. I didn't see a single trailer for this thing. I didn't even really read up on a plot synopsis. And when it comes to a lot of the A24 horror movies, I found that knowing less going in is always better than knowing way too much. And having seen absolutely nothing from it, there's no visual aid that I could have gone in with either, which really did enhance this experience. A24 has been very instrumental in making a lot of indie horror films, but this seems to be their first foray into somewhat of a franchise because they already have a prequel movie that's about to be released very, very soon, hopefully. And so, with that in mind, there are a lot of different things that are already in motion for X. And I'm really glad because I loved this movie. I realize it's been a few weeks since a lot of people have seen this thing and reviews have already been online for quite a while now. And so me throwing my hat into the ring right now feels like a bit of a delayed fuse, but make no mistake, I still wanted to talk about this movie whenever I got a chance to see it, and time is irrelevant honestly when it comes to reviews. As long as I can, give you guys one that's damn good, that's really what matters. I have so much to praise about X. For one, it's like an old school slasher horror film just come to life, which I guess kind of gives away what's going on over here. But really, in a sense, Ty West directs this wonderfully. It's a bit of a slow burn when it eventually does get into the stuff that you've paid to see. It's crazy, and it's all very, very skillfully done. This is one of the most beautiful looking movies I've seen this year. Gorgeous cinematography, and this eerie sense that is there throughout it is really remarkable. It actually harkens back to a lot of old school slasher movies, something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which this movie clearly loved, because it feels like so much of this is pulled from that original 74 blueprint. And there are certain shots, certain landscapes, certain things that feel so similar to that movie, down to the location. It's taking place in Texas. With all of that in perspective, there is so much that film has to offer with this one in terms of an inspiration, and this film rolls with it. There are other thematic elements though, like every horror movie, there are certain things it's dealing with, especially when it comes to that horror presence that does come into effect. In this case, there's a theme of youth, there's an idea of longing, the idea of how there are certain things you can't have in your life after a certain point, and wanting to reclaim some kind of a former glory. All of those things, and there are other themes that come in as well, but then I'll be heading into some major spoilers there. All of those things come into perspective in really, really great ways. And it really hones in, especially when it comes to some of the characters and their motivations, very significantly, and all of it written exceptionally well and eventually laid out to the audience really well. All the actors in it are really, really great. I think Mia Goth is excellent. I've seen her in a few horror movies now. She's kind of become this new modern icon for them, and I've really liked her in everything that I've seen her in. And this is maybe my favorite performance from her so far. Like, I've seen her since Cure for Wellness. Do you guys remember A Cure for Wellness? I always thought that movie was underrated, by the way. Also, this seems to be the year for Jenna Ortega. She started off with Scream, then there was The Fallout, and now she's in this. So that's 3 for 3. And she's already signed on to a new movie along with Tommy Lee Jones. And this is amazing. Like, she's doing incredibly. I can't wait to see where her career goes. Brittany Snow is also excellent in this. I've also been a fan of her for a long time. And I mean, we go back here again. We can go back to Pitch Perfect, the first one. From that point till now, like, she's really come a long way as an actress, and she's fantastic over here. But really, I can sing these praises for everybody in the cast. I don't want to go too much more into some other characters because then I'd be like, tapping on that spoiler door. But I don't want to do that. I want to keep things as vague as possible. But I think that the actors are directed wonderfully and all of them give solid performances. It has a very creepy score that underlines it as well throughout, and also a really great soundtrack. Lots of great hits that are put in there that play in some moments, that plays in some moments that I didn't expect it to play in, and again, very well placed. This is a movie that relies a lot on that editing because there are a lot of sequences that are done in a way that involve some very creative maneuvers, especially when it comes to framing it and trying to contextualize it into something else. And I think all of that, Ty West's editing job is done really, really nicely. Like they really pull off something wonderful over here. This is, like I said, a slow burn at times. The film does take a while to get to the stuff that I think horror fans want to see. But make no mistake, it's not like the movie before that preceding it is any, is like less good. It's still really well done. And again, it gives you a glimpse into these characters very nicely. Like you understand where each of them is coming from. And there are certain things that eventually they get revealed as the movie goes on, which was also really, really compelling. There are a lot of different aspects to X, which I think just they're the finest that I've seen this year. They're among the finest that I've seen this year. I can't think of too many issues with the movie, honestly. Minor nitpicks here and there, probably, like little moments that I feel like could have been tweaked around a little bit, or something like the sort. Like that's it. That's it. Very minor little things. But overall, I walked out of X very, very happy. I can't wait to see it again. I'm looking forward to more people seeing it again. It's out at home, I believe, very, very soon, so you guys will have the chance to do that. And without further ado, I'm going to give X a 9.5 out of 10. So like I said, this review is a few weeks late, and I do apologize for that, which means that a lot of people have already seen the movie, which means you've probably already seen the movie, some of you who are subscribed to my channel. To those of you who have, what were your thoughts on X? Leave them in the comments below, let me know. What are you guys' favorite horror movies of the last few years, in fact? Let's do that. Let's do that prompt. What did you guys think of this compared to other movies that you may have seen, stuff like Malignant or something like that? Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the movies.